The first body dropped at 2:13 a.m. There was no scream, no warning. It was just a wet thud outside the cabin. We were playing cards when it happened, and Dylan stood up first, thinking it was probably a deer. But then we heard the dragging. It was something heavy, slowly pulled across the porch. Not scraping and not dragging. Like it was someone being pulled by their ankles. I grabbed the shotgun by the door, and then the motion light flickered on. We all saw it. There was no deer, just a thick trail of blood leading off the porch into the trees. We told Dylan not to step outside, but he did anyway. He told us to relax. That's when we heard the siren, a low mechanical squeal. It sounded like an air raid from the old war movies. It wasn't that far away. It was moving in the woods. The trees began shaking. Not like the shake you see from woods, but like something was pushing through them. Dylan ran back inside, slamming the door. What the hell is that? The siren got louder and closer. Then it stopped. Dead silence. Every insect or animal in the forest went quiet. Something smacked in the roof hard, and the cabin shook. Plaster fell from the ceiling, and then another slam. Wood cracked above us again. It was heavy, and the roof began caving in. We ran to the back door, and it wouldn't open. Something was holding it shut. We heard it from the outside, breathing through the chimney. Slow, deep breathing, close to the door. Ash started falling into the fireplace. Something was climbing down. Dylan screamed, and I turned to see a tail drop from the chimney. Metal twisted where its head should be, and two long rusted cones pointed upward, like broken sirens or welded to bone. Its limbs were wrong, so wrong. They were too long, joints bending backwards. And it wasn't walking. It was just jerking forward, violent, like it was glitching. The siren was blasting from its head. It was so loud my ears rang. Dylan fired the shotgun, and it hit. The thing didn't fall. It just twitched and lunged. It moved faster than anything that size should. In 1 second, across the room. The next, on him. It didn't bite, and it didn't claw. It just pressed one of the metal sirens to his face. And the sound, it wasn't mechanical anymore, it was just screaming. Hundreds of voices blended together, crying and just begging inside that siren. Dylan dropped, seizing, blood pouring from his ears. The thing lifted its head, and then looked at me. Even without eyes, I knew it chose me. I ran, smashed through a window, and glass tore my arms open. But it didn't matter. I ran and I ran into the trees. The siren blared behind me. The forest lit up red, not from the light, from something glowing inside its head. It crashed through the cabinet wall to chase me, wood exploding outward. I didn't look back, and branches whacked my face as I ran. I tripped and hit the ground and rolled. The siren stopped, and I was met with silence. I crawled under a fallen log, barely breathing. Seconds passed, and then crunch as slow footsteps and the metal scraping bark. It was looking for me. The red glow moved between trees, closer and closer. Then it spoke, not with a sound, with a voice, clear and human. My voice. Come out. It was mimicking me almost perfectly. It begged, please come out. My phone buzzed in my pocket, and I nearly screamed because there was an unknown number when there was no signal on the mountain. The screen lit up with just one word. Run. The siren detonated again, right above me. It had found me. The log exploded apart as it ripped away. I bolted downhill and then slid through the mud. The siren blast knocked birds from the sky. I saw headlights through the trees. And the main road? I sprinted towards it. The creature leaped and landed in front of me, blocking the path. When I got up close, I realized its body wasn't metal. It was fused, skin and steel melted together. Faces pressed under its chest, moving and screaming silently. They were trapped. It raised one arm and the forest bent, trees leaning towards me, roots tearing from earth, like it was pulling the woods itself closer. The siren wound up at an even higher pitch, higher and higher, and then my vision started to blur and blood filled my mouth. Then, headlights hit it, and a truck slammed into the thing at full speed. The impact launched it across the road, and the metal screeched across the asphalt, and the truck flipped. I crawled towards the wreck as the driver stumbled out, covered in blood. He looked at me and screamed. It followed sound. Behind us, the siren rose again, and the creature was already standing unharmed. It twisted its head, and the siren spun, locking onto the driver's screen. It moved so fast it blurred. I grabbed him mid-step, lifted him, and pressed the siren to his mouth. The screaming stopped instantly. His body dropped, empty and limp. It was like his soul had been sucked out. The creature turned towards me, and I was too scared. I didn't scream, I didn't move, and I didn't even remember to breathe. I remember what he said. It follows sound. The sirens rotated slowly, scanning. It stepped closer, right in front of me, towering, waiting and listening. My heart was pounding so loud I thought it would hear it, and the sirens leaned inches from my face. A car alarm then exploded from behind us. The flipped truck's battery sparked, horn blaring, and the siren's creature snapped toward it and sprinted. It slammed both sirens into the truck engine. The noise distorted, and then stopped. Everything stopped. The creature stood still, silent, frozen. I didn't wait. I ran down the highway, barefoot, bleeding, and I didn't stop until sunrise. When police found the cabin, there was nothing there. No wreck, and there's no blood, no bodies, no road damage. It was just the forest, left untouched. They said I was in shock or I was hallucinating. Trauma, they said. But last night, at 2:13 a.m., my phone buzzed again. The same unknown number with no caller ID. I didn't answer, but I heard it anyway, through the speaker. Low, mechanical, and growing louder. It was outside my house, and the motion light had just turned on.